My grandmother used to say, "Life moves like the seasons, each one with its own beauty, its own lesson." When I was young, I thought it was just something she said to make time sound poetic. I never really listened, but years have a way of teaching what words alone cannot, and now I understand what she meant. Life doesn't move in a straight line. It turns in quiet circles, repeating its patterns in ways we only notice when we stop to look. Like the sky that changes every day but never forgets its light, our lives move through phases of warmth and cold, of growth and rest. Each one arrives with its own purpose. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, they aren't just seasons of weather, but seasons of the soul. They mark the rhythm of our becoming. Each one shapes us, softens us, reminds us that everything has its time. And every season, even the hardest, has its own kind of beauty. Spring was childhood. Everything was new and full of color. The air smelled like beginnings and the days felt endless. We woke up excited for no reason other than being alive. It was a time when the heart trusted everything it touched. We lived without worrying about tomorrow. The future didn't exist yet, only sunlight and laughter and the thrill of discovery. Every puddle was an ocean, every hill a mountain, every moment an adventure. We didn't know we were growing. We just were. In those early years, the world was wide and kind. Our dreams grew wild like flowers after rain, untamed and fearless. We believed that everything good would last forever, because nothing had yet taught us otherwise. It was innocence, wrapped in wonder. We loved easily, forgave quickly, and found joy in the smallest things. Life felt like a promise that could never be broken. The days were soft, the nights gentle, and our hearts had no walls. That was spring, simple, honest, alive. But spring never stays. The days get longer, the sun grows stronger, and we start to hear the call of something new, something that asks us to build, to chase, to become. And so, without realizing it, we step into summer. Summer was the busy time, the season of work, of motion, of creating the life we dreamed about when we were small. It was bright and beautiful, but also heavy. The kind of warmth that fills and drains you all at once. These were the years of responsibility, of building homes, raising families, chasing goals, paying bills, and learning to carry more than we thought we could. The calendar ruled our days, and time became something we tried to manage. Yet beneath the noise, love still quietly held everything together. We learned that love isn't just about grand moments. It's about patience, showing up, staying kind when life gets loud. It's about finding peace in the middle of chaos and grace in the middle of exhaustion. Summer was full, sometimes too full, but it was ours. There were long days that felt endless, and nights that passed too quickly. We gave our best to everyone around us, often forgetting to save a little for ourselves. But even in the tiredness, there were glimpses of light, a smile, a hug, a small moment that made everything worth it. Summer taught us about effort, but also about gratitude. It reminded us that growth often comes with struggle, and that meaning is built one small choice at a time. It was the season of doing, but also of becoming. And somewhere in the heat of it all, we found strength we didn't know we had. As time moved on, the air began to cool, the rush began to fade. The fire that once drove us started to soften into reflection. We started noticing what mattered and what didn't, and before we knew it, autumn had arrived. Autumn was the middle of life. The air carried memory now, and the light felt deeper. It was no longer about chasing, it was about understanding. We began to see beauty in slowing down. Children grew up, and homes that once overflowed with noise became quieter. The silence wasn't empty. It was peaceful. We had room to think, to breathe, to remember. Life began to speak in softer tones. Autumn taught us the art of letting go. We learned that not everything is meant to stay, and that's okay. Some things bloom only to teach us, and then they fall away like leaves in the wind. The letting go became its own kind of love. We began to hold things differently, lighter, gentler. We stopped trying to keep everything and started cherishing what remained. The world outside turned gold, and so did our hearts. Autumn had a quiet grace that no other season could match. There was wisdom in the air, and it felt like peace. We no longer needed to be everywhere or do everything. We found joy in stillness and gratitude in simplicity. The rush of summer had become the calm of understanding. And then, slowly, the light began to fade. The days grew shorter and the world outside turned still. Change came again, quietly but surely, and we met it with open hands. Winter was waiting. Winter, the season of stillness. The air was cold, the light soft, the world quiet. Some might see it as the end, but it didn't feel like that to me. It felt like the beginning of reflection. Winter was not about doing. It was about being, about sitting with everything you've lived through and realizing how full your heart has become. It was the season of gratitude, of looking back with warmth instead of regret, of whispering thank you for all that was. The days were slower, the nights longer, but there was peace in that pace. We no longer chased time. We walked beside it. And in that stillness, we found something sacred. We thought of faces, of laughter, of hands once held. Some were gone, but none were forgotten. They lived quietly in the spaces between moments, in the light that lingered. Winter held them all gently. It was the season of remembering, of realizing that even endings can be beautiful when they are full of love, that life's greatest gift is not permanence, but presence, that every breath, every memory is a small eternity. Winter showed us that peace isn't something you find, it's something you grow into. It's what remains when the noise fades, and all that's left is truth. The truth that you have lived, that you have loved, that it mattered. Every wrinkle, every scar, every quiet morning became a story of survival, of patience, of grace. Winter didn't take away, it gave back. It returned everything in the form of wisdom. And in that season of stillness, we learned the simplest and hardest lesson of all, that nothing stays but everything leaves something behind. The world moves forward, and so do we. Not because we must, but because that's what living means. We are not meant to stay the same. We are meant to grow, to change, to shed and bloom again. Every chapter ends, so another can begin. Every winter prepares the heart for spring. Every season shaped me. Every change taught me something. And every stage, even the coldest, carried its own warmth. I wouldn't trade any of it for permanence. If you're in your summer, enjoy the rush. Let the sun touch your face. Let the noise remind you you're alive. It will pass, but its lessons will stay. Every season leaves something precious behind. If you're entering your autumn, breathe and let go. You've done enough. You've built enough. Now let life show you how beautiful it can be when you stop trying to control it. And if you've found your winter, smile. You've lived 1,000 seasons, and every one of them made you who you are. You've earned the quiet, you've earned the peace. Life doesn't stay still, and that's the beauty of it. It moves, it turns, it transforms. We can't hold it, and we're not meant to. We can only live it, one season at a time. The seasons remind us that nothing is permanent, but everything is purposeful. That even the falling leaves feed the soil for what's next. That even the coldest nights prepare the world for morning. Change isn't the enemy, it's the evidence of life. Maybe that's what my grandmother was trying to tell me, that life will change over and over, and that's not something to fear. Each season carries its own truth, its own beauty, its own lesson. You just have to be still long enough to hear it. Now when I look out the window and watch the light shift through the trees, I can almost hear her voice again. Gentle, certain, full of warmth. She was right. Life does move like the seasons, and each one is worth living through. So wherever you are, in your spring, your summer, your autumn, or your winter, be there. Feel it, love it, let it shape you, because one day you'll look back and realize every season was beautiful.